Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Topline's webinar on Constant Contact. We're glad to have you here. I'd like to begin by just introducing myself. My name is Leanne. I have been working at Topline for a little over 3 years, but then I've also been working in marketing for about 10. And Constant Contact is one of my favorite tools to utilize. So I'm very excited to show it to everyone today so that we can really dive deep into all the great functionalities. So let's dive in to Constant Contact and see all the great new tools and AI functionality that they have at our fingertips. First, this should look reminiscent to everyone who has a Constant Contact account. This is the home page. This will have your generic information. You're going to have your number of contacts, your emails, your growth rate, and any of the campaigns you're currently working on. If you go under the marketing tab, you'll notice this new functionality, multi-channel campaigns. It even calls it out for you in this great new button to showcase that this is new functionality for Constant Contact. This is part of your new AI software that can help you really build and create multi-channel campaigns to really get your foundational elements set before you build and customize them moving forward. So here you can see they have some recommended campaigns across the top. You can create one from scratch if you would like to, but for today's webinar, we're going to go with the increased engagement strategy. As marketers, we all know that is one of the main things that we all try to do when we're advertising and trying to cultivate those new contacts. So when you select which type of campaign you would like to build, first you're going to describe your content. So for today's webinar, we're going to build a campaign around Topline's referral program. This is where we'll go into something about how we are offering this great referral program. You can get gift cards and 3 hours of support, and we want to build a whole campaign around how to showcase this information. That will go into your describe content. Then you have your time frame. How long do you want it to go for? Is there a certain time that this campaign should launch, or are you ready to utilize it at any time? And you can also decide which channels you would like to incorporate into your campaign. Is there an event connected to this campaign? Do you have SMS marketing that you're able to use in your campaign strategy? All of this goes into your campaign structure, and then you'll select create campaign. This is when everything will start being put together. As you can see, it takes a couple minutes with this great witty content added. If you're ever going through Constant Contact, make sure to review all these little taglines that they add. They're really fun and engaging. But for today's webinar, what we're going to do is we're just going to review a previously created campaign just for time purposes. So here you can see that we have all of this generated content that was built by the system, and it incorporates 3 emails and 3 social posts. It has everything built for you. It lets you know if it's an email, is it a social post. Everything is in draft mode, because with all content that's created for you, we highly recommend that you go in, review it, change, edit, and customize it. It's a foundational element, so it's really to get you to that first step in creating your content, so then you can build beyond that. All of this you can go into, edit, change. Nothing is set in stone. Once it's built for you, you can navigate through the system, check out the content, whether you like the design, the color, the graphics, and then you can go through with scheduling and programming your campaign. You can go with their suggested captions, you can go with their suggested information. All of it is just a great assistant tool to help you build that full campaign structure. The other tool that we'd like to showcase in our webinar today is the automations function. So previously in Constant Contact, as I'm sure a lot of you know, you would have to go in, you'd have to manually schedule everything, you'd have to figure out which dates, which times, set a reminder to make sure everything launches at the scheduled times, and then you have to go back in, do follow-up, figure out what the engagement was, and we were all secretly hoping that they would one time just give us this automation function. Well, they heard everyone's suggestions, and here we have an automation functionality in Constant Contact. Just like with the multi-channel, it has the suggestions for you, but you always have the option of building your own. Here you can see that you have the different ones to start with. Just for today's webinar, let's go with the welcome series. You have different template suggestions. If you want a basic series, if you would like one with a split incorporated, if there's a specific list that's connected, if there's specific information, if you have all of this review requests you want to add, all of that can be incorporated into it. For today's webinar, we're just going to go with a very simple and straightforward basic one. And this is their welcome series suggestion. So here you can see as we review it, once somebody is added to a list, you can schedule an email send to automatically be sent. 3 days later, you can have a second one. Maybe there's a promotional element, a resources page you want to showcase, if there's any additional information you want to provide. And then you can have 2 days later, have that final touch where you're like, reach out and connect, follow up with us at any time, schedule an appointment. We're glad to have you working with us. All of these navigational elements on the side are drag and drop features. So here you can see all you would have to do is click on it, drop it into your path, and then it's automatically built in. So with these conditional splits, you can even incorporate how somebody interacts with your content. Did they click on the link? Did they open it? Did they not engage? You can send them down 2 different paths and have them interact with them differently depending on how they interact with your email content. So this is a really great function, this set it and forget it mentality where you were such a time saver. You don't have to go in, navigate all this manually. You can build your path, you can set it up with all of the emails, all of the dates and time structure, how they interact, what you want that whole journey to look like, and then you can launch it, review the metrics, and figure out what you're going to do next with all that great information that you're gathering. The next functionality I want to review is hidden on the homepage. You'll notice that they have a content assist now, which is great. I know if anyone works in any other softwares, I'm sure you're aware that having AI, ChatGPT, Copilot, all of those helping you write your content is really great, especially if you go through content overload, which a lot of marketers can do. You're making, you're creating, you're building so much stuff. Sometimes your creativity just needs a little push. So with their new content generator, it's the same thing as when you're building your campaigns. So again, we'll use the referral as our information, and then you can decide if you would like an email or would you like content. So content's going to be along the lines of those social posts or general information that you can utilize to build a multi-channel structure across multiple platforms. But for today's webinar, we're going to stick with email. What is your goal? Are you announcing this referral? Are you announcing a product? Do you have a newsletter? And then of course, you're going to have your tone. Are you going for more of a professional tone, informative, approachable? Are you going for persuasive? All of that goes into the system for the whole AI functionality to take into consideration when building your campaign. Once you have your content included, once you have exactly which type and your goal of your messaging, simply hit the create button. And then here we go again with one of those really great little messages. Awesomeness takes a second. And then you can see right away the content that's been created for you. It'll show up in a preview for you to just kind of skim, see how you like it. But just like with everything in Constant Contact, you have the final say in exactly what it looks like, which is really great. I know I've said it before. I'm sure you guys have heard it millions of times, but AI is great for that foundational element. It gets you going, it gets you to that first step for you to then build on. Change the header, update some of the text. You can still swap out images if you'd like one more on brand, but it just gives you that push that you might need, especially when you're overloaded with creating content. Once you update everything, make it look how exactly you want to. Once you get approval, then you just go forward and hit continue, and you can send it on your way and utilize all the great information that was just built. Here's another example of the AI content that was created. Again, everything is still customizable. If you want an additional image included, just drag, drop it over and add it in. Nothing is set in stone. It's there to help you. The final constant contact element that I want to showcase for everybody is the reporting functionality. And I know a lot of times we think of reporting as the dashboard and the campaign itself. Just like in constant contact with all of our other email marketing tools, you can get that general information on the record itself. So if you just open it up, if you just engage with the content itself in the editor, on the home page, in the content, all of that is still in there. But what Constant Contact did is they created an actual dashboard reporting for you to really elevate how you're analyzing and looking at your marketing. Don't just look at those clicks and opens. Look at those bounces. Look at those unsubscribes. See what's really going on with your email, and they help you figure all of that out without manually having to put it together. Previously in Constant Contact, you would have to look up that information, build the reports yourself, figure everything, put the comparative information together, but now they're doing it for you. So here we'll just scan really quickly down the page. You can see you have your top performing campaigns, your low performing campaigns, your general information. How is your sends, opens, bounce rates? How are you going to look at this information? If the majority of people open your emails on desktop, make sure that desktop image when you're going through your previewing your content is really great. If you have a mobile heavy for your device, then you want to really make sure you're designing for mobile screens, which are a lot smaller. Is there an email that didn't perform well, but it has vital information in it? Maybe we resend it, but we reformat it, change it up, give it a different subject line, change some of the images and messaging. Is there emails that are performing very well consistently? That will let you know that's the type of content your audience wants, and that's how they want it delivered to them. Maybe build some more campaigns that are reminiscent of the open rate that is very high and reformat some of the low ones so that you're really analyzing and utilizing this dashboard so that you can really evolve and elevate your campaigns. Another great feature that you have is complete control over exactly what your dashboard looks like for your time frame. Is there a specific monthly reporting structure that you have? Is there a quarterly report you need to always look at? You can change the date range, and you can also do custom dates as well if there's specific targeting that you're looking on reporting on. You also have comparative information. I know a lot of times it's easy enough to just Google what the average is for a lot of our metrics and our goals, but really it's about building on your previous campaigns compared to last year, compared to the last quarter, custom dates where you had similar campaigns go out. We're really just trying to evolve and grow comparing to ourselves to show that we are increasing engagement, increasing awareness, and then we're building a strong presence with our community. And you can do all of this with this customized dashboard. Really get in there, sink our teeth into the metrics and see what's going on. You can also download the information if you do need to provide it to anybody who doesn't have Constant Contact so that you can share the information as well. So right off the bat, this is a great tool outside of just being email marketing for all of these other elements, including all this information, making sure you're analyzing and using everything effectively. But for today's webinar, we do have an added bonus for anybody that is also using Dynamics as their CRM. So right now, Constant Contact would be your email marketing tool, and a lot of people use Constant Contact hand in hand with a CRM system. If you are using Dynamics as your CRM, I am going to now show you the great integration tool that is Symphony Sync. So Right now, all this information lives in Constant Contact. It's here. You have to log into to view and see, to use and cultivate all of this information. It lives in Constant Contact. If you're a Dynamics user, we have an integration tool called Symphony Sync that actually bridges the gap between your CRM and your Constant Contact account. So it's bringing together sales and marketing so that everyone can utilize the marketing information. I know having those two worlds live in two different places. Those two departments have to constantly go to each other. What did you do for this? What did this person interact with? How did that campaign go? There's a lot of sharing information manually where you have to import, export, figure everything out. But now with Symphony Sync, you are able to see all of your Constant Contact campaign information in your CRM. This is your campaign section if you utilize Symphony Sync, where you can see all the emails we've sent out. What are the open rates? What are the click rates? Who's engaging with what? You can open campaigns, dive a little bit deeper, see exactly the customers that are interacting with your content. And it's not just living in Constant Contact. Now, any sales individual, anyone using the CRM can build and also see what is going on with their customers as well. Do you want to see exactly how Allie's engaging with your marketing? You don't have to go bug the marketing person and say, hey, is Allie interacting with our emails? Has she signed up for anything? You can see all of that information thanks to Symphony Sync. So that is a great tool that we offer currently for our Constant Contact and our Dynamic users. Please reach out if you would like a free demo of Symphony Sync itself. You can either contact marketing support at toplineresults.com or you can email info@toplineresults.com and we'll be happy to set that up for you. Thank you for attending today's webinar. I hope that you all got a lot from it and have a wonderful afternoon.